Vargheists are the darkness within a vampire's soul made manifest. They are towering winged humanoids, each several times the size of a man. Though the Vargheists once walked and talked as lords amongst the chattel, these curse-born vampires have devolved into ravening predators, desperate for the taste of blood. They prowl the battlefield in packs, ready to pounce upon the least sign of weakness, and tear a hole in the enemy ranks with crimson claw and bloody fang. The creation of a Vargheist is a strange metamorphosis that takes place far from the eyes of mortals. Under the extensive castles of the von Carsteins are vast subterranean networks of basements, galleries, and dining halls, with vaulted ceilings that stretch into the pitch darkness above. This realm of former glories is where the Vargheist dark birth takes place. Once these haunted halls were places of grandeur and largesse, the sites of sinister speeches, flesh banquets, and epic displays of privilege. Now, they are little more than antique graveyards filled with the detritus of an ancient aristocracy. Moth-eaten drapes and tapestries hang like curtains of moss from the damp-raddled walls. Embroidered rugs and mosaics of bone are hidden by inches of tainted and brackish water that seeps through from the cursed lands above. Broken harpsichords lean drunkenly against the cloth-bound statuary of ancient gods. Shattered coaches and rot-gnawed sedan chairs are heaped amongst haunted portraits and magical relics stolen from conquered civilizations. Within the mounds of priceless bric-a-brac, chain-bound coffins and sculpted sarcophagi nestle like chrysalises in a rotting woodpile. If a chance visitor were to approach these coffins and blow away the carpet of dust upon them, the name von Carstein could just about be made out, chiseled in Baroque letters upon elaborate stone scrollwork. Not all of these coffins are empty, for this hidden realm is where the von Carsteins lock away those of their family who have fallen out of favor. Those who come off worse in the endless power struggles of the vampires often find themselves prematurely buried or left at the mercy of their own relentless thirsts. Slowly, over the course of decades, the constantly dripping water, magically tainted by warp stone in the stalactites overhead, finds its way into the prisons of these unfortunates. Torpid for want of fresh blood, the slumbering vampires begin to devolve and change shape, growing larger and more bestial as the diluted dark magic swirling around them lends them a terrible strength. Whilst the transformation from humanoid into monster takes hold, the muscular Vargheist will crack open its stone prison with great effort, Casting aside its chains, the creature unfolds its leathery wings and rears up into the darkness, letting loose a terrible scream of rage and betrayal that sends great swarms of bats whirling throughout the cavernous chambers. The shattered remnants of its sarcophages fall away, and the name and personality of its former incumbent is left behind in the mire. The newborn Vargheist begins to hunt, desperate to sink its teeth into mortal veins. At the first taste of blood, the transformation is made permanent. What was once a proud lord of the dead is forever cursed to an existence as a ravening beast. Though each Vargheist emerges from its prison far stronger in body, it is invariably weaker in mind. After centuries of thirsty confinement, all they really want to do is feed. These creatures are easily bound to their jailer's will as a result, and are sent into battle in packs in order to feast on those enemies foolish enough to stay too far from the sanctuary of the main battle line. Vargheists make formidable fighters, for their raw fury and terrible hunger is undiminished by the control exerted by their cruel, vampiric masters. And now, the most famous of the Vargheists, the Devils of SCHWARTZHAFEN. No longer vampires, but fighting with the same insane savagery. From the once proud cast-iron devils themselves. The winged horrors known to the peasantry of Sylvania as the Devils of SCHWARTZHAFEN are not, in fact, a breed of beast unto their own right. Instead, they are devolved vampires, captured by the most powerful of their number and twisted by dark magic into a form that better echoes the foulness in their souls. The Devils of SCHWARTZHAFEN were once handsome sons of the von Karstein dynasty, each sired by one of Manfred's brothers in darkness. Though young, this coterie made for a significant part of the von Karstein power base, where one vampiric whelp might be put in his place easily enough. Three of their kind united proved a threat even to the likes of Conrad the Bloody. So it was that the Karstein Devils, as these youngbloods called themselves, rode out the turbulent times of old. Manfred barely survived the vampire wars. By the time he had recovered from his defeat at Helfen, the Karstein Devils had spread their influence across the Vale. The Count felt that his presumptuous nephews needed to learn their place. Tracking them down during the hours of daylight, he bound each one into his coffin using a Nehekaren mortuary rite. For many years, they lay trapped in the caverns below Castle SCHWARTZHAFEN, their forms slowly distorted by the warped stone-tainted water swilling around their sarcophagi. The beasts that Manfred eventually released from the coffins were physically horrific and had no trace of intellect. Now, the Devils of SCHWARTZHAFEN haunt the night at Manfred's behest, falling like vast hunting bats on his enemies, and ripping them to bloody rags as their master looks on in amusement.